BMW R1200 ABS removal for free in 2024. First of all, let's look at how you diagnose the ABS fault appearing on your dash. This fault can happen intermittently, or it can be constant, or it can happen if you pull the front or rear brake independently or together. The telltale sign is the red ABS flashing light with that red triangle light flashing like a disco. The options in 2024 are to find a reconditioned unit, a refurbished unit, or to get your own unit refurbished, or to replace it by BMW, which is over €2,500. Motorworks in the UK offer this unit, which keeps your linked brakes. The RH Second Life kit comes with an ECU, which you can buy it with the unit or on its own, and can delete the flashing lights. The other option is to remove the link brakes altogether using brake splitter lines like these two here from Motorworks, which we'll look at more closely, and you'll probably also want an ECU backing plate if you're going to take this cheaper option. I will also cover the free option. You will need certain tools, and despite having all these security bits, I didn't have the correct TS25 security bits to get the ECU off the original ABS unit. So instead of waterproofing with a plastic bag like I have here temporarily, I would encourage you to buy a backing plate or to build one of your own. Next is a picture of some suspicious routing which I found on the internet, and also this here is a product you can buy from motorworks.co.uk as well, but I preferred this option which just looked to be a whole lot cheaper. Again, emphasis on being free. Here's me trying to recreate the ABS warning sign, and because this was an intermittent fault and it would only happen every so often, I couldn't manage to get it to happen. So I started stripping down the bike to prepare it, but don't worry, once you remove the ABS unit, it brings up these faults anyway. So that's why I was able to show you at the start of the video again. And in the end, I just removed these by blocking them off with some black electrical tape. To access the ABS unit, you need to remove the seat, the black side panels, and the fuel tank. The ABS unit is located directly under the fuel tank. This is the unmodified front splitter that you saw earlier in the video, and we're just tracing back behind the ECU to show you the ABS unit. When removing the ABS unit, you must first remove all the brake lines that attach to it. To do this, you can get a flat edge screwdriver. This helps pry out this retaining clip, holding in each hose, and there's 4 of them to remove on this ABS unit. Once the retaining clip is removed, you can pop out each line. Remember, they're still full of brake fluid and there will be a bit of spillage, so be careful and maybe wear some goggles while doing this, because brake fluid is nasty stuff, especially if it gets in your eyes, etc. You can see here that I have removed 2 of the 4. There are also 2 small electrical connections to be disconnected, and this larger one here, which is the ABS control unit. To remove this, you push in the safety retaining clip and you pull it up, and it comes up quite like an old VCR or something. This wiring leads directly to the ECU, so do hang it out of the way and keep it out of harm's way while you're working on the rest of it. To remove the other ones, there is a little safety clip, but once you have it, they should come out with not too much fuss. Now, once you have your brake lines all disconnected from your ABS unit, it should be free to come out. There is 1 or 2 small retaining bolts underneath the unit which keep it in place and keep it secure to the engine itself. So if you remove them, it will certainly slip out like I'm trying to get it out here. This is a big clunky ABS unit, and it looks like it would be designed more for a car than a bike. It's amazing that there was never a recall done on these, seeing as every one of them seems to die at some stage. Either the front or the rear brakes do go faulty, and ultimately you have a choice of replace the unit or remove it. I'm opting to remove the problem and keep it permanently removed, as you can see here. There is a couple of advantages to removing the ABS kit over keeping it, and I will explain that as we go along. You will need to retain the electrical section of the ABS unit, as they control the brake lights and the speedometer through this unit. This is the section that needs to be removed by the TS25 security bolt 5-sided star. Now, one of the advantages that you have to removing this unit is the fact that it is quite heavy. It weighs 4.4 kilos, and that is without any of the brake lines that are attached as well. I would comfortably say that you're losing about 5 kilos from the bike altogether during this procedure. Now, returning to some pictures we saw earlier of some dodgy routing, I want to try a different approach to this, and this is a product that I should have bought but didn't, because this would have made my life a whole lot easier. What I ended up with was taking the cheapest route I could and joining the existing parts, which is not so bad if you can get out in a fix, but unfortunately it did take about 2 hours to get this correct and right. It just doesn't line up very well, so I would encourage you to buy that looped product that you saw in the picture if you can get it in your area. and I used one of the existing brake lines, which I routed around the back near the airbox and out of the way of the swing arm. It's a little neater and it doesn't hit your foot, which is what I was looking for. The two small strap connectors actually just pull out very easily, and the red and black wires can just be removed using the plastic clips and then taped up, keeping them out of the way of everything else in that box. One of the things I did splash out on was this backing plate. It's purpose built to fit exactly into it. It came from motorworks.co.uk. I could have made one. I could have put it into a lunchbox. I've seen people use foam and things to seal these up, but this did seem like the most sensible, cleanest option that I could find. And it was only about €30, so very cheap altogether, but I have seen people make their own PVC backing. This is aluminium, so it should keep the water out and it should last the test of time as well. I did seal it up with some sealant, just some normal silicone. I also noted the date and the mileage on the back, so the next owner knows when this was completed. Here you can see where I've mounted the electrical components of the ABS unit. I've cable tied it around some pre-existing mounts, and I've used a rubber washer at the bottom just to stop it from getting too much vibration. It's a neat enough job, it's secure, and it's not going to move out of there, and that's exactly where the ABS unit was before, so I should see no issues going forward. So what are the pros and cons overall of removing your ABS system? I've already mentioned the lighter weight. The front brake has no discernible difference in power, and the rear brake is a lot stronger. This is most likely due to the linked brake system that was there before. The cons are that you'll always have flashing lights on your dash unless you remove these LEDs from behind the dash, which I have not. I've just covered them up with electrical tape to stop them annoying me. If I was to take on this job again, I'd order the rear brake hose and the front brake loop hose, and also the backing plate that I did order. Having these parts, I feel, would reduce down the amount of time it actually took to complete this job. Overall, I'm really happy with the results. The brakes are absolutely fantastic. The bike does feel slightly lighter and more flickable, and it no longer makes that annoying servo sound. I think I've demonstrated one of the cheapest ways to get around the ABS servo system on the BMW R1200GS, and I've also covered some of the more expensive routes that you can take. Having BMW fix this issue for you at this stage of the bike's life is probably not worth it money-wise. The RH Second Life kit is probably a good option for those who want something that's more plug and play. Getting a good used unit or a refurbished unit is good, but it may also cause trouble in the future and may break again. You may end up doing this job multiple times. I'm just happy that this bike has dependable normal brakes now. I hope you find this useful. Any questions, please do ask.